Good day, classmates. I'm James Stickney. It is a pleasure to be in class with each of you. I'd like to take a few moments to discuss my dissertation proposal with you. My topic is uses and gratifications of social media by older adults. The problem: older adults use social networking sites to a lesser degree than younger adults to communicate. Despite a growing body of research about older adults' use of social networking sites, scholars have not fully explored how this technology is meeting this group's interactional and informational seeking needs. The purpose of this qualitative uses and gratification theory study is to explore why older adults use social media sites less than young adults. Research question 1. Does the complexity of social networking sites affect use by older adults? Does social networking design impact use by older adults? I chose uses and gratifications theory as a tool for examination. The uses and gratification theory is not a new theory in the field of communications. This theory can be traced to the Office of Radio Research, affiliated with both Columbia University and CBS Radio in the 1930s and 40s. This theory's longevity make it a communication scholar's trusted companion when trying to understand what motivates an individual to utilize distinct types of media technology. According to Littlejohn, UGT makes some assumptions. First, audience members actively select from various media. Second, audiences are active and goal-directive. Third, the various media available compete for the attention of audiences. Finally, social and contextual elements shape audience activity. There are three basic types of social media gratifications that move individuals to use particular social networking sites. 1. Hedonic gratifications, which include enjoyment, fantasy, and escapism. 2. Utilitarian gratifications, such as achievement. And 3. Social gratifications, such as social interaction and social presence. UGT often finds itself supported by or intermingled with other theories. Two of these theories are expectancy value and media dependence. There are critics of UGT. UGT is often labeled an approach instead of a viable communications research theory. Unfortunately, the polemic over whether this theory satisfies the standard of a full-fledged theory continues. In part, it may be due to the antiquated perception that any communication theory is inherently deficient to the traditional disciplines of sociology and psychology. I've discovered that communication scholars regularly find themselves having to justify their discipline. My study will use the qualitative paradigm. Participants will be found in the local 55 plus and assisted living communities. My study will use interviews and surveys as the instruments of measure. My plan for data analysis: the interview recordings will be transcribed and verified by reading through the transcripts while listening to the recordings. Once verified, the data will be analyzed using the phenomenological approach by looking for common themes. That's a tongue twister. The themes ascertained during the study must be relative to the research questions. Themes will be encoded. Encoding the themes will provide me with a structured method of examining the pertinent data. Coding data is much easier to synthesize than broad spectrum data. The ultimate goal of several iterations of coding is to arrive at the identification of major categories, meaningful units, or themes. Note-taking during the interviews is imperative as it will allow for a full account of the lived experience. Care will be taken to ensure that I practice active listening. Active listening is a technique which may help the interview in increasing the length and depth of the interviewee's responses. Proper listening will allow me to denote transitions, stories, emotional statements, thereby allowing for connection between each phenomenon. There will be ethical considerations. Permission to conduct this research must be obtained from a governing body. Study participants will be made aware of how the researcher will maintain the privacy of the information they've entrusted to them. All research will use the anonymous approach. This allows for each participant to be referred to by an anonymous identifier. This approach will ensure that in the event of a data breach, nothing can be tracked back to a particular participant. Interview participants must be assured that their participation is voluntary and that they may stop the interview at any time. Having never written a dissertation proposal, I found this process informative and eye-opening. I realize that this proposal has merely scratched the surface of what I'm trying to discover or explore. I'll work hard to refine this proposal as I move forward. I feel privileged to have been part of this class, and good luck to all of you in your future endeavors.